Welcome to the presentation on MICT SETA's new learner management system. It is quite a complex system, so we have broken it down into these 6 key points. We will begin by looking at the live dashboard where we can see in real time how the LOI submissions are going. Point number 2 takes us in more detail in those submissions. Point number 3, we look at double dipping and how we deal with that internally. Point number 4, we have a look at the digital certificates that we have introduced. Point number 5, we look at how we verify the assessors and moderators now. And finally, point number 6, we have a look at management reporting. All right, let's look at what the dashboards look like. So once we sign in to the system, we can select from a number of roles. So remember, each account can have multiple roles on the system. And for the purposes of our demonstration today, we'll be using the LPD admin role to view their dashboard. So from here, you can see that there are a total of 1,564 LOIs. And of those, 1,350 have been submitted, 214 are in progress, 0 are approved, and 0 have been rejected. So these values, of course, all update in real time. And you can actually click on this and it will take you to view those LOIs. And from this view, you can also see what the submissions themselves look like. So you can see the company details, when they started, what date they submitted on, what the current status is, what their progress percentage is nice, and so on. The nice part about this is that during the submission progress, if you notice that certain companies are getting stuck at a certain point, you can actually then contact them and assist them with their submissions. From here, you can also view the submission audit trails. So let's choose this one over here. And this is an audit trail that keeps track of any change that's happened to the submission. So throughout the lifetime of the submission, anytime an action is taken, that is tracked for auditing purposes. All right, let's have a look at how we deal with double dipping internally. So for this, we're going to be using the external role of Learning Program Facilitator. Once we are signed in there, we can see our dashboard, and on the left-hand side, we have the Learning Programs menu. If we select the current active window, we can see the company details and the learning programs that are associated with them. If we then go deeper into the view, we can see the specific learning programs. In this case, we have a learnership. We can see the duration, the learners. We can see there are 2 allocated learners and 1 has been added. And there's a grant amount. We have the status of started, and under actions, we can view the learners. And here we have a learner by the name of Tim, and this is his ID number. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go back. And I'm going to try to add the same learner to another learning program. So I'm going to go in here, actions, learners again, and then there's a blue button here for add new learner. So I'm going to click that, paste in the ID, hit search learner, and you'll see that it automatically populates all the fields that it retrieved from the ID number. And then we're going to try to enter the dates, date entered, and the date the program started, and I'm going to say add learner, and now we get a message saying that the learner is currently enrolled in another learning program. So it prevents us essentially from adding the same learner to another learning program, thereby preventing double dipping. So currently this of course only works internally with MICT SETA, but once we roll out the shared services model, this will ideally be in place across all the SETAs. Next up, we will be looking at the ETQA admin role, and this is to see how the certification process has changed. So from their dashboard, we can click on learning programs, and we can look at funded programs or non-funded, and we can then look at the training programs and see all the details, and from here we can go to actions and view that program. So from here you can do things like adding a print schedule and so on, viewing a list of all your learners and their associated documents, We can also, if needed, do a reprint. So we can look at approved applications in this case. So over here we can see that this learner has lost their certificate and they've applied to have a reprint, and this has been approved by the senior manager, and we can view a sample of that. So this is what those certificates look like. So these all come with a QR code that you can use to verify that certificates are legitimate. So if you scan that code, it'll take you to the page that verifies that this is actually a legitimate certificate from MICT SETA. So if you scan that QR code, it takes you to this page over here on the SETA website. So we have MICT SETA Learner Certificate Verification System, and tells you that Mark Mkwanazi has successfully achieved competence against the following SAQA registered qualification. It gives the name of the certificate, and it shows you the unit standard code that they have been certified for, along with the title, NQF level, how many credits, and so on. Right, next up we're going to show you how we can also verify the assessors and moderators. So here from the ETQA Assessor role, we can go to Profile, and we can see our Assessor registration document. So this document shows, of course, that the assessor is registered as an assessor for the following qualifications. So we have the SAQA IDs and the titles of the qualifications, which level they're on, the credits, and we also have a QR code again over here that we can scan to verify that this is a legitimate assessor. Okay, lastly, we're going to look at the management role, and we're going to have a look at the reports that they can see from their side. So if we look at the LOI report, if we look at all DG windows, we can see this view over here with all the reports, but then the useful report that we have is the extended reports. So we have the province LOI submission comparison, where we can see how many LOIs have been submitted per province. We have a status comparison. We can see how many are pending and how many have been submitted, and so on. We can see a company size comparison. In this case, looking at the annual turnover, director age comparison, company director gender comparison. So these are all useful reports for management. We can see the same thing on the WSP submission side. So here we have the main view, we have the extended reports, and we can of course download all of these reports. So here we have a province WSP submission comparison, status comparison, and so on. So each one of these reports are customized according to what management would like to see. Thank you. We hope that you have enjoyed this presentation. Thank you for your time.